Welcome to the Global Woman Masterclass. We are very excited to have you here and to share the amazing masterclass with a champion like you. I'm very honored and grateful, Laura, for you finding the time, and what you're going to share today. I know it's going to be very powerful for ladies to take away. So Laura Armstrong helps you develop the skills, gives you the tools, and the map out the action plan to reach your full potential that will fast track you on the road to extraordinary leadership success. So my ladies, if you would like to take yourself in a journey on how to become a champion in your life, not only in your professional life, but also in personal life, because they're always going hand in hand together, you are in the right room. You are meant to be in this room because Laura is the go expert, and she's going to tell you and to teach you and to guide you how to get there. I'm very curious to know how did you start this? How did this passion about martial art came to you, and what inspired you? What made you to take that journey and that direction?
Yeah, that's a great story. And I always laugh when I tell it because I'm such a different person now, as we all do as we grow. I was a champion in bodybuilding and powerlifting at a very young age, the age of 18. I was always into sports, and I was always a little bit of the overweight kid in class, but I never let that stop me, right? So I wanted to see where I could go with physical activity. And so I entered these competitions and I won. And I don't know if you know anything about bodybuilding. It's a real toll on your body. It's all about discipline, and same with powerlifting. And so anyways, I won the championship in our area, and I was scouted by these people who were international coaches, and they wanted me to go worldwide with this. And they approached me and they said, Laura, you've got the genetics, we like what we see. We want to bring you to the top, but you're going to have to take the drugs, the steroids, because that's just the way the sport is. To get to look like a certain way, you have to take things that will sculpt your body in that way. And I was 18 years old, right? And I was like, sorry, but I'm just starting my life here. I don't think I want to take drugs at the age of 18. So I stepped away from that and ended up taking a continuing education course because I still loved physical activities, and I always wanted to learn martial arts. I loved martial arts movies. I loved everything about it. And so I went to this course that was in the evening once a week. And it was this little woman who was 4 feet tall, like came up to my armpit. And she taught Aikido, which is the Japanese art of self-defense. So it's all about stepping off the line, redirecting your partner's energy, de-escalation, all that stuff. And so we go through the class and we're doing all these stances and rolls and stuff. And, I'm very, competitive. So I'm thinking, when are we getting to the kicking and punching, right? And so anyways, we go through this class. It was great. And she's like, are there any questions? And I said, yeah, when are we starting the kicking and punching part? I'm really looking forward to that. And she kind of looks at me without rolling her eyes and says, actually, Aikido's not about that. And I thought, well, that's kind of boring. But I showed up next week, and I showed up the week after, and there was something there for me. And I started to practice this. It's now been over 30 years. And while I was in that for a couple of years, I started doing another martial art, which was more competitive. So that fed what I needed in the competitive side. And that's the school, like I opened both schools. And so that was the full contact weapons fighting that I won my championships in. So that's, 35 years later, this is where I am, taking all those principles about building leadership through my schools and my students winning championships and their students winning championships. I understand what it means to create a leadership legacy. And the cool thing is all of those skills are transferable into business.
So how did you apply these principles in business as well? And how do you help other people to apply the same?
Yeah, leadership is such a huge subject. And I think, 50 people could talk about it differently, each person. And so for me, it's all about, there are two ways I define it. The first is, if you're stepping into your leadership, what does that look like, and how to create the core of that? What's your mindset? If you are at the top of the game and the world champion in your business, we're going to talk about that today. What would that look like? You all kind of have an idea, but have you really defined it? right? Where you are now and the things that may be getting in the way, so you can create that path to it. And then the second level that I teach on that is bigger leadership, your global leadership, what it looks like, mapping out your leadership, how to lead your tribe effectively. There's so many different things that are involved in leadership. And it's how each person's style is, right? So my style is, I want the best and most for people. I will help them on the path, but I will not make them accountable. They have to want it.
Because from the moment that you want it, I think is half of the job. How do we inject, activate that burning desire to, let's say to women in this case, but to people to want it?
Right.
Why some people realize their desire, their ambition so easy, and some people don't?
You know, there's two things, Mirela. The first thing is, honestly, you got to get out of your own way. Because we're really good about putting up roadblocks. We're taught at a very young age to do that, and we become professionals at it. But what if you could become a professional about stepping in your power every day just as powerfully? And the other thing you can do to actually do exactly what you said is give yourself the onion exercise, which is why you keep asking yourself why until you get to the core of what it is that actually drives you to get up in the morning and want to succeed. It's really just a choice. And that's what it comes down to. And what your choice looks like is going to define where you're going to go. And you can make different choices all the time. We all make mistakes, but learn from them and move on. Don't hold on to them and let them drag you down.
One more question.
Sure.
You mentioned another important point, mistakes, because that is the other thing and probably another blockage that women many times face, because they feel that what if I mess it up? What if I do a mistake? What if I fail? So how do you help people deal with that?
Yeah, for sure. There's a couple things you can ask yourself there. You can ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario and what's the best case scenario? We forget about the second one a lot of the time. And the other thing is it real? Like, if you fail, what are you going to learn from that instead of I have a good example of that. I was teaching at this camp in Washington State. This is probably 20 years ago. And all the instructors were given a book from all of the people participating. It was called The Book of Love, why they loved you, why they loved your class, all this kind of thing. And one of the people who were in my class wrote a negative comment. What do you think I focused on? The whole book was positive, but I focused on that one negative comment. Mm-hmm. And I realized at that point, I got to shift my mindset around this. This is not healthy for me. And so it really can, you can shift your mindset, and you just need the tools to do it, and just be more aware of what's going on. You're actually going to be more conscious of everything you do. And you're actually, the third and most important thing is to take action.
Wow. I can see the ladies are still here. And from the comments, definitely, yeah, it has been a great fun and great engagement. Thank you, Laura. That was amazing. Well done.